Would you do a gallery walk with us?
Yes.
And talk a bit about your work?
Yes, sir. These are my trapeze artists. That one is the flying duet. The trapeze artists I did because Carol Baker said to me one day when she came to my studio, darling, I need to give a friend of mine a present, and I want to give him one of your sculptures. And she said, you know, there's no space in his house to put one. She said, you know, do you think you could kind of swing something from the ceiling, darling? And I said, well, why not? I can swing from the ceiling. I'll swing one of my sculptures from the ceiling. So I started my trapeze series, and I've always loved the circus, and so this is how this one here is the swinger and the catcher, and they kind of go together, those two. This one is the preening bird, another early piece of my work. This is in the 60s that I did this one, and I feel very strongly about this. I think it's very lovely. It kind of makes a circle, completes itself. Well, here are my dolphins. These are the playing dolphins. I've done a series of dolphins. The first one I did was in stainless steel. This one is in bronze, and it's three dolphins playing in the sea. And the other dolphins that I've done were Ma, Pa, and Baby, single pieces. This one is the water nymph. I also have done this one life-size, and Carol Baker, as a matter of fact, was she inspired me to create this piece. I also did her portrait. I did a portrait of Carol, and also I did a portrait of Sarah Churchill. This one is Sunny, and I've done this, first of all, I've done this one 10 feet in height. It's on El Paseo in Palm Desert, on the meridian there. This one is in bronze. I've also done a miniature, which is what I call wearable art, in silver and in gold. I'm not quite sure. Oh yes, this is Peace. There are 4 figures in Peace, and this one I'm hoping there is at the moment a little discussion as to whether the Norwegian government would commission me to do this as a mammoth piece. It's to do with the really big. Now this one here is the pas de deux, with the ballet dancer lifting his lady up in the air. I've just finished this 9 feet in height. It makes a lovely, actually the lines of this are very flowing. My lines happen to be very sensual and very flowing, and I've always said they're very tactile. I like people touching my work. This one is called Compassion, and it's the compassion that the older woman has for the young girl as she's reaching maturity and guiding her into her life. This is one of my most favorite pieces. This is my wonderful bulldog, Bayetti. Bayetti, he sat for this when he was 10 years old in Rome, in my studio there. And he kept getting so tired when he was sitting for me and modeling, and he kept wanting to collapse. And I would hold him up, and then I'd say, all right, darling, you can lie down now. Then he'd lie down, and then I'd say, okay, up again. And then he'd get up, and I finished doing. The one on the right, of course, is the ballerina, one of my earliest pieces that I did. And the left again, of course, is the water nymph. This is Poseidon and the mermaid, with Poseidon lifting his lovely mermaid out of the water for the world to admire, and was bought by Sarah Churchill and given as a wedding present to Aristotle, Onassis, and Jackie. This one is in resin, and they are the Three Graces. I do intend actually to do this one in life size, in separate pieces, so that they would be 3 panels. It makes a beautiful light, by the way. There's the light shining behind it.
Absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous, especially the Poseidon piece, which happens to be one of my favorites. Although it belonged to Jackie and Onassis, I just think it's one of my favorite pieces of work.
Thank you. I have a lovely story about that. Do you want to hear it?
Sure, please.
I was in a shop in New York one day, and I had my 2 dogs with me, my bulldog Bayeti, and my beautiful little Pekingese. She was a pure black Peke, Yum Yum. And they're standing there, and this very attractive lady is standing beside me, and I'm buying a sweater. And suddenly she looked at me and she said, "I love your dogs. They're so beautiful." And I looked at her and I said, "You don't know who I am, do you?"
Wait, you were saying this to who, Jacqueline Onassis?
Well, I'm just going to tell you. And she said, "No, should I?" And I said, "Well, I'm the sculptor, Colin." "Colin," it was Jackie. "That's my favorite piece." She said, "I took that onto the Christina with us." And she said, "And then when I left, I took it back, and it's now in my New York apartment with me, and it is my favorite sculpture." Isn't that lovely?
That's
I was
fabulous.
terribly thrilled.
As a matter of fact, with the auction, would you have any idea what?
No, it
with
didn't go in the auction. I did check. I called. I think John obviously decided that as it was his mother's favorite piece, he would have kept it, and now obviously Carolyn has it.
My question to you is, with all the different, many facets that you are in the art world, why sculpture?
Well, as I explained before, when I put my hands into the clay, I was able to mold the clay and make it move. And I was a dancer and a choreographer, so I understood what went on with the body and the movement of the body and the rhythm. And I eliminate what I do with my work. This is why I love Picasso so much. He knew how to eliminate. And Brancusi, and there are so many others that have inspired me. But I eliminated the lines that I felt were unnecessary, and only kept the lines that would flow and move. That's why my pieces are so rhythmical and sensual, because of this. And that's why and I'll tell you why I chose bronze. I decided that if I was going to do this, I wanted my work to be here in 1,000 years, 2,000 years, so long as man doesn't destroy this planet.
Yes.
I want my work here, and that's why I chose bronze.
Where do you come up with the ideas for the sculptures?
Where do the ideas come from?
Yes, what's the conception? Where does it?
Pohiwa, imagination.